Vishyati Yugayitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravrashayitam Shanyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahiname Aslishyavapadaratam Panastu Mamma Darshanam Admatam Karotu Va Yata Tata Vavidadatu Lampato Mad prananatastu saiva naparaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 10 offenses in chanting the holy name. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who dedicated their life propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Number 2, to consider the names of the demigods like Brahma and Shiva to be independent of the name of Vishnu. Number 3,
to disobey the order
of the spiritual master. Number 3, disobey the orders of spiritual master.
Disobey the order of the spiritual master.
4, to blaspheme Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Number 5, to consider the glories of the chanting of Hare Krishna as imagination.
Number 6, to give mundane interpretation of the holy name of the Lord.
7, to commit sinful activity on the strength of chanting the holy name.
8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna to one of the auspicious ritualist activities offered in the Vedas or Karma Kanda section.
9, to instruct a faceless person about the glories of the holy name of the Lord.
10, to not have complete faith in chanting the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after receiving many instructions in this matter. It is also offensive to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must carefully guard against these offenses to quickly achieve the desired success, which is Krishna Prem. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desired trees who can fulfill the desires of everyone and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned soul.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Guru.
You get more comfortable sitting here.
Okay, then it's okay. Good.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Krishna, camera.
Janabhalabha Giridharadhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari
Gopi Janabhalabha Giridharadhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yamunatira vanachari.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Gopi Janabalabha Giribharatari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Gopi Janabalabha Giribharatari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Yamunatira vanachari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nittai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nittai Gaur Haribo.
Nittai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribol.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Nittai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayat
Tato Jaram Udiraye
Nasta Prayeshu Vabhadreshu
Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki.
We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, text number 21. Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha
Govindaya Namo Namaha
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda
Gopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namah
Govindaya Namo Namah Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha
Govindaya Namo Namah
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namah
Govindaya Namo Namah Krishnaya,
Krishnaya
the Supreme Lord,
the Supreme Lord
Vasudevaya,
Vasudevaya
unto the son of Vasudev,
unto the son of Vasudeva
Devaki Nandanaya,
Devaki Nandanaya
unto the son of Devaki,
unto the son of Devaki
Cha,
Cha
and
and
Nanda Gopa,
Nanda Gopa
Nanda and the cowherdmen,
Nanda and the cowherdmen
Kumaraya,
Kumaraya
unto their son,
unto their son
Govindaya,
Govindaya
unto the personality of Godhead,
unto the personality of Godhead
who enlivens the cows and the senses.
who enlightens cows and the senses.
Nama,
Nama
respectful obeisances.
respectful obeisances.
Nama, obeisances.
Obeisances.
Translation. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherdmen of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord, being thus unapproachable by any material assets, out of unbounded and causeless mercy, descends to the earth as he is, in order to show his special mercy upon his unalloyed devotees, and to diminish the upsurges of the demonic persons. Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations, because in this particular incarnation he is more approachable. In the Rama incarnation, he remained a king's son from his very childhood. But in the incarnation of Krishna, although he was the son of a king, he at once left the shelter of his real father and mother, namely King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki. And just after his appearance, he went to the lap of Yashoda Mai to play the part of an ordinary cowherd boy in the blessed Braja Bhumi, which is very sanctified because of his childhood pastimes. Therefore, Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Rama. He was undoubtedly very kind to Kunti's brother Vasudeva and the family. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew and thus address Krishna in parental affection. But Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are far more attractive than all other pastimes. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes as exhibited at Brajabhumi, which are replicas of his eternal affairs in the original Krishna Loka, described as the Chintamani Dham in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Sri Krishna descended himself at Brajabhumi with all his transcendental entourage and paraphernalia. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Brajabhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls, who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. His pastimes with Nanda and Yashoda, and his pastimes with the cowherd man, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. Lord Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the brahmanas and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends more on these two items, namely Brahminical culture and cow protection. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavari Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so Queen Kunti is continuing to offer her obeisances to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who is her nephew. So it's an interesting situation that she's offering prayers to someone who is her nephew. But she understands Lord Krishna in a very special way, right? She says, Lord Krishna, he has become the son of Vasudeva. So Lord Krishna appeared in Mathura, and in Mathura at that time Vasudeva and Devaki were in the prison house of Kamsa. So Lord Krishna appeared there in that prison house of Kamsa. The prison house of Kamsa, Vasudeva, because Kamsa knew that the 8th child of Vasudeva and Devaki is going to kill him. It had been predicted at the time of their marriage, and Kamsa was going to kill Devaki at that time. But Vasudeva was expert politician. He was not a Maharati, he was not a fighter, but he was a good speaker. And he convinced Kamsa, he said, we don't have any child yet, so there's no danger. And so 8th child, he said, the omen said the 8th child will kill you, so why are you worried? And he said, anyway, I'll give you the children when they're born. I'll give you the children. And so Kamsa was pacified, and he let Vasudeva and Devaki live. But then he decided to put them in the jail, put them in his prison house there, because Kamsa had made himself the king and put Vasudeva and Devaki into the prison house. And of course, Kamsa is killing the children. And Lord Krishna comes as the 8th child to Vasudeva and Devaki, and he appears in his 4-armed form, fully decorated with ornaments and flower garland and turban and everything. And he appears like that, and it's said that the Lord appeared in his 4-armed form. That's a Vasudeva feature. Vasudeva feature, 4 arms. And he shows him, Vasudeva and Devaki, that you see, I'm the Supreme Lord, because they had done tapasya to get the Lord as their son for 3 births. Previously, Vasudeva and Devaki were Prishni and Sutapa. And as Prishni and Sutapa, they did great tapasya for eating dry leaves for a long time and meditating on the Lord. And they wanted to have the Lord as their son, that the Lord should appear as their child. And so they got the benediction. First of all, Prishni Garbha was the first son, and then Prishni and Sutapa, their second birth, they became Kashyapa and Aditi. And as Kashyapa and Aditi, the Lord came as Vamanadev. And he was the second, the second time. And then the third son, they become Vasudeva and Devaki. And this time, Krishna comes as their son. And the child who's born is Vasudeva Krishna, 4-armed form, opulent Krishna. But Vasudeva and Devaki are in the prison house, and they're worried that Kamsa is going to want to kill the child. So they requested, first of all, they requested Lord Krishna to take the form of a baby. They thought, not very convenient to tell people I've given birth to a child like this, with 4 arms and everything. So they requested Lord Krishna to take a human form with 2 arms and to take the form of a baby. And it was arranged that Vasudeva could come out of the prison house and go over across the Yamuna and go to the home of Nanda and Yashoda. And there, he exchanged the babies because Mother Yashoda had already she'd also given birth at the same time. She'd given birth to a daughter. And so Vasudev took the daughter and placed the child there with Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda was sleeping because she delivered the child, so she was tired, and everybody in the home was asleep. And so Vasudev exchanged the children, and he brought the baby girl back to Mathura. And then Kamsa came the next morning. He heard Devaki is giving birth, so he comes immediately. He wants to kill the child, and they tried to keep the child, but Kamsa took the child from them, and he threw the child. He wanted to smash the child on the ground, but the child rose up in the air and assumed the form of a goddess, Durga, you see? And then that way Vasudev, Kamsa rather, it was a shock to him to see Mother Durga appear. So anyway, he couldn't kill that child. So the daughter, that child, she went to the mountain ranges and mountain range, and it said she went there and resided there, and she's worshipped there.
The Durga.
Yeah, and she's known by many different names. So Queen Kunti is identifying Lord Krishna that he's the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. That she knows Vasudeva and Devaki to be the parents of Krishna, but he's also the boy of Nanda. He's also he's Nanda because Vasudeva had brought the child there to the home of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. And so Krishna, it said Krishna was very happy to go to Vrindavan. He wants to be in Vrindavan because in Vrindavan the 12 forests are there and all the cows. And so Krishna wants to be in that situation. Of course, Vasudeva, he's simply thinking, put the child there in the home of Nanda Maharaj for his safety, to protect him from Kamsa. But actually it's for Krishna's pleasure, that Krishna wants to be in Braja, in Vrindavan. He wants to be there with all the cows and to live in Vrindavan and be able to go in the forests of Vrindavan. He enjoys Vrindavan. So Krishna, Queen Kunti describes Lord Krishna, that Nanda Gopal Komaraya, that he's the boy of Nanda and the other cowherd men of Vrindavan. Nanda Gopa Komaraya. So he's the son of Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men because he's been living there in Vrindavan. And his Bala Leela, his childhood Leela, is in Vrindavan. And his childhood Leela, of course, is the most pleasing of all of the pastimes. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they were able to give birth to Krishna. They got the benediction that they could have the Lord as their child, but they're not able to enjoy the childhood pastimes. The childhood pastimes are enjoyed only by Nanda and Yashoda. That they're Krishna's parents. They're the ones to enjoy the childhood Leela. Nanda and Yashoda. They're very great devotees, and they have that opportunity to bring Krishna up in his childhood. Mother Yashoda is, we were celebrating Damodar Lila, and we were hearing about the glories of Mother Yashoda, how she's such a great devotee. She's much greater than even Brahma and Shiva that she's able to be the mother of Krishna, and she can tie up Krishna, and she's got so much love for Krishna. So Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Of course, he's Yashoda's wife, and the cowherd men of Vrindavan, they all love Krishna. All the people of Vrindavan, they're all deeply attached to Lord Krishna, and they think of Krishna as their son. All the cowherd women, all the gopis, the elderly gopis also, they all loved Krishna more than they loved their own son. Although the cowherd ladies had children, but they loved Krishna more than their own son. And all the cows as well. The cows also love Krishna. It's described here, Krishna is Govindaya. So he gives pleasure to the cows and the senses. So all the cows in Vrindavan, what happened when Brahma stole away the cows and the cowherd boys from Krishna? So at that time, Lord Krishna, he didn't want to disturb the people in Vrindavan. He didn't want to. Lord Krishna had come in the forest every day with the cowherd boys and the cows. And Brahma wanted to play some trick on Krishna, so he stole away the cows and the cowherd boys. So at that time, Lord Krishna expanded himself and replaced all the cows and the cowherd boys by his own expansions. But each of the expansions was just like the cowherd boy and the cows. So he went home that night, and all the cows and all the cowherd boys, they were actually Krishna. But nobody knew that this was Krishna. They all thought, this is my son, and the cows also thought, these are my calves. And so, but the result was that all the older gopis, they were enjoying more with Krishna as their son than with their own son. And they were having so much feeling for them that they were feeding their breast milk every day to Krishna. Because actually all the gopis, they were always thinking that how Krishna is such a wonderful boy, that if Krishna was my son. So Krishna gave them the chance that he became their son. And they were able to feed their breast milk, and they were able to take care of Krishna just like he was their son. And they did it all without knowing, because it was all arranged by Krishna. And for a period of 1 year, Krishna took the place of all the cowherd boys and all the calves. And one day there was an incident took place that the cows, the mother cows, were up on Govardhan Hill, and Krishna was at the bottom of the Govardhan Hill with the calves, and Krishna's with the cowherd boys. But the calves and the cowherd boys are all Krishna actually. They're not the real, Krishna had taken the place. So all the cows were up on the Govardhan Hill with the older men, and they saw the calves down below. And when they saw the calves down below, all the cows started to run down the hill. And the big cows were all running because they thought, this is my calf. And they all came running down the hill, and they were feeding their milk to their calves. And the older men, the cowherd men, they also had to come down the hill. And of course, it wasn't supposed to be like that, because the cows are supposed to be milked at night. But when the cows saw all the calves there, they wanted to give the milk to their calf. So Lord Balaram, he was watching, because Lord Balaram, he was not there that day when Brahma stole away the cows and the cowherd boys. Lord Balaram was not there. His mother had kept him back for some reason. So Lord Balaram, he didn't know that Krishna had taken the place of everybody. But then when he saw this incident, when he saw all these cows running down and giving the milk to their calves, then he thought, this is very strange, because the calves were not so young, they had grown up a bit, and the cows, they don't give the milk. Once the calves grow up, then the mother cow is not going to give the milk for the calf anymore, because they think calf's already grown up a bit, doesn't need my milk. So these cows, why is it they're giving so much milk? And the older men also, they came down and they saw the cowherd boys, and they were so affectionate to the cowherd boys, and they were patting their heads and they were hugging them and everything. And Lord Balaram thought, this is very unusual. We never saw this before. So much affection of love. And then Balaram could understand that actually all of these calves and cowherd boys, they're all Krishna. And that's why they love them so much. The person who we really love is actually Krishna. Although we may love our son, may love our daughter like that, but the person we really love is actually Krishna. It's Krishna who we really love more than anybody else. And this is true with the cows and with the cowherd men also. So it's the nature of Krishna that he gives so much pleasure to the cows and to the senses. So these two things are the cows and the senses. Prabhupada said in the Vedic culture, this is very important. He said human prosperity depends on Brahminical culture and cow protection. So we think prosperity, we think of prosperity in terms of, having money. Money is just some paper. It's not actually real wealth. We think human prosperity is if you have a big house, a big building, you have lots of cars. We think that's prosperity. But actually, we see from the Vedic culture, real prosperity is to have Brahminical culture and cow protection. When the cows are protected, then the cows are happy and they will give milk. And from milk, then you can make nice things. You can make yogurt, and you can make cheese, and you can make ghee. And with ghee, then you can do the yagyas. You can offer in the yagya, and cows give the most valuable foodstuff in the form of milk. Milk is liquid religion. And Prabhupada said, just by drinking milk, you get a longer life. You prolong your life. Of course, nowadays there's a vegan movement, and they're opposed to milk drinking. But we agree that we shouldn't exploit the animal. In some ways the vegan is right, that the animals are treated badly. So we want to show people how to take care of the cows. Cow protection doesn't mean just only take the milk, and then when there's no milk, then you kill them. So that's certainly very sinful. So we have to protect the cow throughout their life, and then let them die peacefully. The cow is next to the human form of life. So the cow is the mother, one of the mothers, and we have to take care of our mother. So cow protection is a very important part in society. And Lord Chaitanya, when he saw Rupa and Sanatan were working for people who were cow killers, he told them, you should leave this job, don't work here. He didn't like them working for people who were cow killers. He said, this is very bad association. If you work in the service of people who are cow killers, then you also take karma with them. So Rupa and Sanatan, although they had big jobs and they were big in the government, but because the people they were working for were cow killers, they left that job and they went to Vrindavan. So cow protection is very important, and Brahminical culture is also important. Brahminical culture means that people have to be trained to cultivate the good qualities like cleanliness, mercy, austerity, and truthfulness. Brahminical culture means the 4 regulative principles. No meat, fish, and egg, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. This is Brahminical culture. And when we have that kind of society, then the world can live peacefully. We can see how today everywhere there's so many wars and people quarreling with each other, so many disputes. We need to follow the Brahminical culture and live peacefully and cultivate self-realization. The goal of life is not just to make a lot of money and have more and more bigger factories and produce more and more electronic items, but the real goal of life is self-realization, to understand our spiritual identity and to get out from this wheel of material existence. Human life is not meant for just simply sense gratification. We have to cultivate the higher knowledge, understand ourselves as a spiritual being, and get out of this material world. To remain here in the material world is a very risky thing. Now we have the human body, but next life there is no guarantee what kind of body we will have. So Brahminical culture is to cultivate the finer qualities, the good qualities in human society. Good qualities, we said cleanliness, mercy, austerity, truthfulness. So these 4 regulative principles are very important in all levels of society, not for just Brahmanas, but for everyone. And Prabhupada writes in the Srimad Bhagavatam how the governments, they should try to enforce these things, that everybody should be trained to follow these regulative principles. And this way that we can develop good qualities and the world can become a much better place to live in when we will live according to God's laws. Right? So in the purport, Prabhupada talks about how the people of Vrindavan, they're the most fortunate people of all. Why are they so fortunate? Because Krishna's there. It's Krishna's home. Krishna's from Vrindavan, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the people of Vrindavan are so fortunate, because the Lord there is there. And it's in Vrindavan, Krishna shows his wonderful pastimes. It said Krishna is perfect in Dwarka, he's more perfect in Mathura, and he is most perfect in Vrindavan. So the pastimes of Vrindavan are very, very special. And Lord Krishna enjoys these pastimes, or his childhood pastimes. He's always, even after he grows up and goes to Dwarka, leaves Vrindavan, he's always thinking of Vrindavan. And so devotees also, we should also cultivate the mood of Vrindavan. Even though we may be far away from Vrindavan, we want to be thinking of Vrindavan. And Prabhupada used to say, I'm always in Vrindavan. Even though I'm here in New York, he said, I'm in Vrindavan. I'm always thinking of Krishna. So Krishna, he actually resides eternally in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is his home. So Vrindavan is a very special place because of that, because Krishna is from there. That's why it's so special. And Prabhupada explains in the purport how of all Krishna's pastimes, the pastimes of Krishna, of all the pastimes of the Lord, it's the incarnation of Krishna, which is the most pleasing, the most satisfying. Or Prabhupada said, as Krishna, he is more approachable. Krishna enjoys relationships with his devotees. Lord Ramachandra, he's the king. So one time he embraced Hanuman. One time. So it's but Lord Krishna every day is playing with the cowherd boys, and they're playing with each other and wrestling and climbing on each other's back, and having so many things, doing so many things together. So Lord Krishna is very intimate in Vrindavan, and of course he enjoys also dancing with the gopis and so many different pastimes there in Vrindavan. All very intimate and loving, because Vrindavan is a place of Madhurya Ras, it's very sweet. The sweetness of Vrindavan, that sweetness is not there in Dwarka, because in Dwarka there's opulence. And the more there's opulence, then the less intimacy is there. The more there's opulence, there's a distance between people. People who are wealthy and who are rich, they don't keep the doors open, they're always worried who's coming to steal my money and like that, But in the village, people in the village live simply, they don't have any great wealth or anything. They're not worried about people coming to steal, they can be there at night and keep the doors open, unlocked. So pastimes of Vrindavan are very sweet. It's Madhurya, sweetness. The sweetness is in Vrindavan. Dwarka is Aishwarya, place of opulence. And the more there's opulence, the less there is sweetness. And the more there's sweetness, there'll be less opulence. The two don't go together, you see. You can't have sweetness and opulence. But at the same time, Vrindavan is opulent. They say that Vrindavan, every tree is a Kalpabriksha tree, every cow is a Kamadhenu cow, every dust, all the dust of the Dham is Chintamani. But the people in Vrindavan, they don't think like, they only think, I just want some flowers to offer to Krishna, I just want some milk to give to Krishna. They're not thinking about, I want gold, I want jewels, they're only thinking about service to Krishna, to offer some nice flowers and fruit or some milk offering to offer to Krishna. So that's the mood of Vrindavan. The mood of Vrindavan is all based on sweetness. They're not worried about opulence. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they're the residents of Mathura. You see, they don't go to Vrindavan. Vasudeva and Devaki. Later on, Krishna got them out of prison, and then he took them to Dwarka. So Vasudeva and Devaki, they live in Dwarka. But Nanda and Yashoda, they stay in Vrindavan. They're Brijbasis. They're happy in Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, they can relish all of Krishna's childhood pastimes, all of his activities. All right, and then everyone in Vrindavan, they're all great devotees, of course. During the time of Lord Krishna, all of these great devotees all came there to be there with Krishna in Vrindavan. The gopis, they're not ordinary people. Some of the gopis, the one group of the gopis, they were the great sages. And what happened in the time of Lord Ramachandra, there were these sages, and they saw Lord Ramachandra, and they were attracted by the beauty of Lord Ramachandra. They thought, wow, we've never seen such a beautiful, such an amazing personality, so charming, so attractive. And although they were great sages, and they'd been practicing austerities and everything, and they'd been away from all sense gratification, but still they desired to enjoy some kind of amorous relationship with Lord Ramachandra. So they got the blessing, because Lord Ramachandra told them, he said, I cannot do it in this life because I vowed only one wife. Eka Patni Vrat. I only can take one, I cannot take any more wives. So he told the sages, he said, you come in my next incarnation. So the sages, these sages, they all took birth in the family of gopis. And they became gopis, and they became some of the gopis there in Krishna's Lila. And another group of gopis, they were the personified Vedas, the Shrutichara. The Shruticharas, the personified Vedas. They also wanted to understand how the Lord can be a person, and how they could see, how they wanted to see the pastimes of the Lord. So they were told, you have to take birth in Braja. So although they were the Vedas personified, they all took birth in the family of the cowherd people in Vrindavan, and they became gopis, and they were able to take part in Lord Krishna's pastime. And then some other gopis, they came from the spiritual world. They directly descended from Goloka. They came. And some gopis, they're going up. They're coming up. They're just becoming perfect. So that like that, there's different groups of gopis. And they're all great devotees. They're all very dedicated to Krishna. And Krishna is very dedicated to them. He only thinks of them. They all only think of Krishna, and Krishna only thinks of them. He's always thinking about his devotees. And the greatest devotees are these people of Vrindavan. So Lord Krishna enjoys so much to be with the cows and with the brahmanas. In Vrindavan also there was a brahmana. There was the one brahmana. What was the brahmana's name? That fat one?
Cowhead boy?
No, brahmana.
In Vrindavan?
Yeah.
Madhumangal?
Madhumangal. Yeah, Madhumangal, right. Madhumangal, Krishna's friend.
He was eating so much.
Huh?
The one who was eating
Yeah,
so much.
right.
He's
Yeah.
a bit fat also.
Yeah, it's fat because he's a brahmana. People like to feed brahmanas. You know, people like the brahmanas get the food first. So Madhumangal, he's Krishna's friend. Sometimes Krishna will take his meals with Madhumangal by his side, and Krishna will give everything to Madhumangal to eat. So Krishna enjoys these relationships. Okay, any questions? Anybody? Any comment?
Guru Maharaj, you said Krishna is more, yeah, Hare Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
எனக்கு ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு தமிழ்ல கேட்கறேன். நித்யா மாதாஜி கொஞ்சம் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்றீங்களா?
Yes. சொல்லுங்க மாதாஜி. We translate.
எனக்கு வந்து கான்சென்ட்ரேட்னே ரொம்ப டிஸ்டர்ப் ஆகுது. சாண்டிங் பண்ணும்போதும் சரி, நம்ம கீர்த்தன் நம்ம புக் எல்லாம் படிக்கும் போதும் நமக்கு வந்து கான்சென்ட்ரேஷன் ரொம்ப கம்மியாயிடுது. எனக்கு சமயத்துல சில சமயத்துல அதை எப்படி நம்ம சரி பண்ணிக்கணும் கேட்கணும்.
Guru Maharaj, so our question is, she, for her the concentration is little low and it is getting disturbed when she is chanting and reading the books. So she is asking your advice, like how to improve her concentration while chanting and reading.
How to improve her concentration by chanting and reading? Do it more chanting, more reading, and also try to get association with other devotees. Read the books. When you read the books, read them in the association of other devotees, and don't just read them, but try to explain and discuss what is said in the book. We like to exchange with each other. What do we understand? And from this section, from this verse, what's our understanding? Right? We don't just read, we don't just repeat, but we want to try to discuss and explain. So it makes us think more about what we're reading.
Okay, Gurmaraj. Thank you. I will just say, Mataji, Gurmaraj என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா number of chantings கொஞ்சம் increase பண்ணிக்கோங்க and அசோசியேஷனோட செய்யும்போது அதான் கூட சத்சங்க பீப்புளோட அவங்களோட செய்யும்போது கான்சன்ட்ரேஷன் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும். அது இல்லாமல் லைக் படிச்சு முடிச்சிட்ட உடனே அதர் மற்றவங்களுக்கும் அதை ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, நீங்க என்ன படிச்சீங்கன்றத வந்து மற்றவங்களோட டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுங்க சொல்லி கொடுத்தீங்க.
இப்போ சம்டைம்ஸ் எனக்கு வந்து அந்த சுச்சுவேஷன் போயிடுது, அந்த மாதிரி இதாக இருக்கும்போது டைம் வெளியில் வரப்போ இருக்குது ஃபேமிலி சுச்சுவேஷனால எனக்கு. அப்போ நான் எப்படி பண்ண முடியும்? இப்போ வந்து என்னால் ஒன்றுமே பண்ண முடியும், ஒன்லி சாண்டிங் மட்டும்தான் பண்ண முடியும். என்னால் 16 hours சாண்டிங் பண்ணுறேன், ரீடிங்கோ லிசனிங்கோ எதுவுமே நல்லா பண்ண முடியல. அப்போ ஒரு கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 1.5 month தான் என்னால் பண்ண முடியல. அப்போ அந்த மாதிரி நான் என்ன பண்ணுறேன்?
Maharaj, what she is asking is like sometimes the family situation is disturbing at that moment. She is asking how to handle. Like if the family situation is not allowing her to chant and read.
Chanting finish பண்ணிடுறேன் மற்றபடி.
Chanting she is able to finish, but yeah, reading and listening she is not able to do because of the family situation.
Okay, well, of course she has to cooperate with the family. She has to, do whatever. But the family, they often they go out to work. They're not always there. So when the family are away, when maybe the children, when they go to school and like that, then you have time. You have to adjust everything according to the circumstances and take advantage when the family are away, when they go off to work or when they're going to school or when they're sleeping. Then that time, then you do your chanting, you can do your reading.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. Dhanavad Maharaj.
Yeah, I mean, families are, they're not always going to be with you all the time, Is it your children or your husband?
Actually, she is mother of Arini Mataji. She is actually grandmother. Like Arini Mataji is having 2 kids and she is Tangam Mataji actually, who is now questioning. Her name is Tangam. She is taking care of her grandchildren and even her husband is with her and she is not into ISKCON, so basically because of that she might be facing some trouble. Issues, yeah.
Well, grandchildren, of course, they will grow up. They're not going to be there all the time. You have to just tolerate some inconvenience for some time. But in your mind, you should always be thinking of Krishna. In your mind, you should always be remembering Krishna. And just like Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath Das. Raghunath Das, he came to Lord Chaitanya and he wanted to join Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya sent him home. And he told him, just stay at home. He said, just be like a normal person, but keep Krishna in your heart. Keep Krishna in your heart. He said, always remember Krishna, but just behave like a normal person. And he said, in course of time, Krishna will arrange to free you from this situation and you'll be able to practice Krishna consciousness. So you just have to be patient.
Hare Krishna Mataji, translate பண்ணீங்களா கொஞ்சம்?
Oh, sorry. So, Maharaj என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா எப்பயுமே கிருஷ்ணரை பற்றி நினைச்சிட்டு இருங்க அப்படின்றாரு. அந்த ரகுநாத் தாஸ் கோஸ்வாமி அவர் எப்பயுமே வந்து மெடிடேட் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாரு கிருஷ்ணரை. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி லைக் இந்த ஃபேமிலி சுச்சுவேஷன் எப்படி இருந்தாலுமே அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அந்த ஒர்க் அப்படியே செஞ்சுட்டு பேரலி செஞ்சுட்டு மென்டலி மெடிடேட் பண்ணி கிருஷ்ணா அந்த மாதிரி பண்ண சொல்றாரு.
சரி.
தேங்க்யூ மகாராஜ். Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, any other questions? Anyone? So this is a very nice verse. You can remember this verse. We could be chanting it all day. We used to, sometimes I remember when I was going on Sankirtan, we would go out on Sankirtan, we'd sing it on Sankirtan.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Yeah. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopal Komaraya Govindaya Namo Namo. Yeah, we like to sing these songs. You know, Lord Chaitanya would sing songs about Krishna everywhere he went. So it's nice to sing these songs, you know, when we're doing it, when you're doing your work or doing your cooking or cleaning or washing, whatever, we can be remembering Krishna by chanting these nice verses and remembering Queen Kunti's nice prayer, how she's remembering Krishna. She knows who Krishna is.
Maharaj,
Uh-huh.
I have the impression that Queen Kunti is a kind of link between both worlds of opulence, because she's a queen, and also with the Vrindavan world, because she's attracted by this life of Krishna as a coward boy. She seems attractive.
Yeah, yeah. Maharaj is saying you can see a link between Queen Kunti and Queen Kunti being a queen. So she's more coming from an opulent situation. Of course, she didn't have so much opulence because her sons were all sent into exile and they had to suffer a lot because of Dhritarashtra and the sons of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and everything, how they dealt with the Pandavas. They made life very difficult for Queen Kunti. So although she was a queen, she didn't really get a lot of queenly opulence. But still, in the sad sense, she's a queen. She's not from Vrindavan, different, but she appreciates Krishna, how he appears in Vrindavan and how he passes his childhood there in Vrindavan. And she's recognizing Krishna in that way. So Queen Kunti. You know, many devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also didn't get to go to Vrindavan, but they were very much Krishna conscious, and they were like the people of Vrindavan. They were fully Krishna conscious. But there were several of them who didn't go to Vrindavan. They just stayed in Mayapur or Navadvip.
I have a special attraction for the Lila where Krishna is appearing in the present, because when Devaki asked him, please take a form of a baby, it seems that finally she asked him to become the Krishna we know. The Krishna is a little baby who apparently is very vulnerable.
What?
Vulnerable. Seems very fragile and very needing to be protected.
Yeah, of course. Krishna, when becomes a baby, then you have to, the young babies, you have to handle them very carefully. Their skin, their bones, everything very fragile. So babies, they need so much love and care, how they have to be handled so gently. So Krishna was enjoying that kind of love from his devotee. And it's even described at one point, Vasudeva was carrying Krishna across the Yamuna, and somehow Krishna fell from his arms and fell into the water. And Vasudeva became frantic to get Krishna, to pick up Krishna again. But actually it was Krishna himself. He wanted to go into the water. He wanted to be in the water of the Yamuna. So Krishna arranges so many different things just to bring more service attitude out from the devotees. Krishna is arranging that the devotees can serve him more. Like Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they can give so much love and care for him. Krishna enjoys that when he sees the devotees taking more care and being more loving and concerned for Krishna. Just like when Krishna killed Putana, then Mother Yashoda did so many rituals to protect her son. Because Mother Yashoda is so worried about her son, she always wants to protect him. But when Garga Muni had come there to do the name-giving ceremony, at that time he had told Nanda Maharaj, he said, this child will be just like Narayan. And he said there will be many dangers, but by the grace of this child, you will overcome all the dangers. So Garga Muni had already told Nanda and Yashoda what they could expect, that there would be dangers, there would be problems, but because this child is very powerful, very special, they would overcome all the difficulties.
But yet they were anyway they were afraid. They wanted to protect him, even if they knew theoretically that Krishna was Narayan.
Yeah.
They wanted to protect him.
Yeah. Lord Krishna, he arranges by his Yoga Maya that even though they understood the child very powerful, they always wanted to protect Krishna. Lord Krishna likes to see the service from his devotee. He wants to see how much we want to do service, our service mood there. So Krishna arranges for the devotees to do more service, to make more sacrifice. Krishna wants to see how much we're willing to sacrifice for his service. So he arranges these different situations just to increase the love and the affection of the devotees. Just like when Kaliya came and Krishna jumped into the Yamuna and Kaliya bound up Krishna. So the people of Vrindavan, they were all practically dying because they thought, oh, Krishna is in the clutches of Kaliya. Krishna will surely die. And they were all collapsing, they wanted to go into the Yamuna, they also wanted to go in Mother Yashoda, and they all wanted to go in there and try somehow to save Krishna. So Krishna he would do these different things just to increase their love.
Thank you for this wonderful class about Kunti and Krishna.
Okay, so we'll stop here today then. So,
Maharaj,
oh yeah.
Gurudev, I have one small question.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, sometimes I tell that I talk with the devotees and I speak them that to take their spiritual practice seriously, they have to reconsider their lifestyle. So, because sometimes they to take too much attention to their material affairs and so on. So, Guru Maharaj, how can I advise them and how can I explain them more clear to the necessity to change their schedule, day schedule, their lifestyle, to take their spiritual practice more seriously and deeper?
Well, you have to be careful about trying to instruct people. You know, if you're not in that position as their authority, then they may not like that you're trying to instruct them.
I mean, new devotees, Guru Maharaj, they have no initiate. They are very new. So they share their problem that it's difficult for them to adjust their material life to spiritual life. They see some conflicts between spiritual life and material life. And so how can I explain them what to do in such a situation?
Well, by your own example. The example is the best way to teach them. Not just simply instructing people, but by your own example. If you show the example how to argue, then they can see from your example.
Mm-hmm.
And we say example speaks louder than words. Rather than trying to instruct people or trying to tell people what to do, it's better you just simply show the example yourself. And they will see from your example.
With affection.
Okay?
Okay.
Now,
Thank you very much.
regarding your question yesterday about that from Chaitanya Charitamrita,
Uh-huh.
that as you were asking about the doctrine of transcendental enjoyment of Krishna cannot be mixed up with the doctrine of transcendental feeling of separation from Krishna in the role of Radharani. Right?
Yeah.
So, we have to understand Prabhupada is criticizing, he's pointing out that these people, this Apasampradaya people who are the Gora Nagaris, that they make Lord Chaitanya, they put him in the position of enjoyer. But that's not Lord Chaitanya's mood. Lord Chaitanya's mood is coming, he's coming as a devotee. And he wants to experience the separation. Although Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, but he's not coming in the mood of Krishna, he's coming in the mood of Radha. He has the Radha Bhav, and he wants to feel the feeling of separation from Krishna in the role of Radharani. So this is the fault of their philosophy, these people, the Gora Nagaris, that they put Lord Chaitanya, the Prabhupada, it says here, he said, a mundaner should not intrude into affairs of transcendence and displease the Lord. So, what? he says elsewhere in the purport, he said a class of so-called devotees called the Nadia Nagaris or Gora Nagaris pretend that they have the sentiment of gopis towards Lord Chaitanya, but they do not realize that he, Lord Chaitanya, placed himself not as the enjoyer, Krishna, but as the enjoyed, the devotee of Krishna.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the problem, right? These people they're putting Lord Chaitanya into the position of Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya's mood is different. Lord Chaitanya's mood is to experience the separation. So Lord Krishna, he's the supreme enjoyer. He wants to enjoy everything. But Lord Chaitanya's mood is very different. He is experiencing, he's in the mood of Radharani, the role of Radharani. So this is the point Prabhupada's making. So you cannot put Lord Chaitanya into that position of being like Krishna, enjoyer.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay?
Oh, thank you very much, Gurudev. It's very clear now. Thank you very much for your explanation.
Okay.
So very important point you clarified. So thank you so much.
All right. So we will stop here today. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much for your mercy, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.